consent agenda. I need a motion to approve the September 24, 2015 regular meeting minutes, along with the approval of the October 5th, 2015 payroll. Discussion? Roll calls.
Mrs. Molinari? Aye. Mr. Lullo?
Aye.
Mr. McFadden?
Aye.
Mr. Kozel?
Aye.
Mrs. Glatz? Aye. Mr. Malloy?
Aye. Awards, presentations, and/or recognition. Student achievement, Tim Riley.
2 weeks ago, we introduced the algebra nights. We told you we were going to get out in each of the schools, and we did that. Over 220 parents showed up. And you have in front of you a little packet, but the most important page is the front one. 24 math teachers and 26 science teachers, 50 total, gave up at least one night. Some came out 2 or 3 or 4 different times to meet with parents, to answer questions, especially about the new algebra. But that's been, those were great nights. Parents raised some really legitimate questions that made us go back, take a look at some of the things that we're doing with that first year grading. So I thought it was very powerful. I wanted to give you a few highlights on what came out that evening. The second page in the packet, we really wanted to highlight how this isn't just a math thing. When they talk about STEM, it's problem solving in every area of the school. And there's 8 math practices and there's 8 science practices, and they line up almost perfectly. So for that kid that thinks, well, I can walk out of math class and not have to worry about this until tomorrow, you've got science class. You're going to run into the same thing. And our ultimate goal is the same as it was with the reading program, to get reading in every class all the time. This is to get problem solving so that they don't get into that rote memorization. That doesn't help us. The other thing that's come out in the last 2 weeks that we're actually thrilled about, they've released the new SAT, and we mentioned last time that there's a brand new SAT for kids that will come out in 2016 in the spring. That may be the state test, depending on how the governor decides in the budget. Kids could get the free SAT instead of an ACT. There's enough similarities, that doesn't hurt our kids. But here's what we found. We looked at all 30 questions on the new SAT math. All of those show up somewhere in our Algebra 1 program. And then they're reviewed in Algebra 2. So on that third page, there's 2 examples of pretty tough math problems and when they show up in our algebra program. Now, are freshmen going to master SAT math? Not right away. But we want to introduce it to them, build on it sophomore year, so by junior year, when it means something, they've seen this kind of problem over and over and they really have it. So we were excited about that. And then just a week ago, the ACT showed us several questions from their new version, and it's exactly the same thing. It's exactly what Jim IU has set up and what our math teachers have set up, so that we are absolutely on the right track. People are starting to call us a little bit now, as they did when we started reading, because they're seeing this and they know what we're doing, and there's not a package program like this. So it's going to be, like everything new, it's going to be a little bit of a bumpy road, but it's going to be great down the line. I like where it started. The last piece on page 5 and 6, just a little glimpse into what's happening in our classrooms and how it is different. There are some days where kids are in rows, but there's an awful lot of days where kids are in pods, working with pairs, with quads, with groups of 4 or 5. And the key is the teacher does some direct instruction, and then the teacher does some wandering and monitoring. But we have to get to the point in our classes, especially STEM, where kids are given a problem, they're guided, and they have to solve it. We can't just give them information. They can get that anywhere. And Ron Salwin told them in each of the sessions, if we're just information presenters, we're obsolete. Kids have information in their pockets. We have to show them how to use that, how to take it and problem solve. And then the back page is just some pictures that Amy Fury took as she went out and traveled through. You see kids from each school. I love the one at the top with the student leaning over, teaching the other kids, okay, here's where you made the mistake, and this is what we've got to do. The teacher can't get around to 30 kids in 50 minutes and give that kind of attention. But if you've got one kid in each group of 3 who's really strong, that kid can lead the group. And when they get stuck, put a hand up, then the teacher can come over and do some guiding. So I think we're absolutely on the right track. Again, parents had great questions, and we'll keep doing these kind of things whenever we offer anything new.